What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are going to be rebuilding Chelsea with a dominant 4-2-3-1, actually made by a viewer. If you guys do enjoy these rebuilds and the tactics, do show some love by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and do turn on notifications. And if you can't get enough of me, do come over to the Twitch. The link is also in the description, but also in the comments. I'd love to see you there, and trust me, the vibes are the best you're going to see on Twitch. So then, Chelsea. Now, there's been a lot of heat around Chelsea recently. They've signed a lot of players, and Graham Potter is close to getting axed, I believe. Now, I personally feel it's a little bit harsh on Graham Potter right now, because I don't know if he had much of an influence on the players that were brought in. Obviously, he knew what team he was going into, but it's almost like they've signed another team. The amount of players they have brought in, we could sit here and spend 40 minutes talking about them alone. Today's rebuild is going to be slightly different, because we don't actually need to bring in a ridiculous amount of players and have a complete overhaul. It's more about getting rid of some of the players that I personally believe haven't got a future at Chelsea, or possibly are getting a little bit older and do need to leave. So do you know what? This is going to be a different type of rebuild, but one that I've been looking forward to doing for absolutely weeks. So if you do enjoy it, like I said, also really leave some comments of the team you want to see next, because I love doing rebuilds, man. But as you can see, Chelsea, prediction 5th. I think that's more than achievable in the first season. Obviously, I know at the moment they're not enjoying a good season at all, but obviously it's a little bit different. We're going to play a different style, and obviously FM is actually a game, not real life. We've got to remember that, because boy, some people do actually think they're in the game. But training facilities 5-star, youth facilities 5-star, coaching 4-star, youth recruitment 4-star. Obviously, stadiums are very nice, ground Stamford Bridge. You can see some of the sort of key employees here, me being one of them. We love to see it. But do you know what? I am looking forward to this challenge. If we go on here, £13.5 million. So we're not going to look to actually bring in anyone at all in the first season, because the first season is about seeing exactly who performs out of these signings and really breaking it down. And one of the key things that I've remembered to do massively is actually get the players from the under-21 team, because there's a lot of players. Mudryk was even in there, which I do not like to see. All got put in the under-21s when I've done the database, obviously, because they've got such a big team. So what we've done is we've called them all up to the senior team, and we're going to see what these players have to offer. And looking at the squad right now, you can see the vast amount of players, the sheer talent this team has. And do you know what? There are some real stars in this team, but for me, it looks like a cluster. Too many players, not enough positions. There's an absolute cluster of players, and whether we're going to be able to actually get anywhere with this, it's going to be a challenge in itself. But you can see here, obviously, you've got Kai Havertz, Kante, Reece James, Sterling, Kovacic, Mendy, Mount, Lukaku, who we are going to give a chance when he comes back, depending on how he performs, obviously, on loan. Koulibaly, Felix on loan, not going to make this permanent, not really a big fan. Cucurella, Aspilicueta, Fofana, Chilwell, Enzo, Zakaria as well, probably won't bother getting him on permanent. Pulisic, Mudryk, Kepa, Badiashile, Aubameyang, he needs to go. Madueke, Ziyech, he needs to go. Broja, Callum Hudson-Odoi as well, and a few at the bottom. But do you know what? A sensational squad and a load of talent. But looking over it, we're going to go over some of the players that I want axed, I want gone. This guy's a nightmare, because he's washed, he's hard to sell because not many people want him, and he's on a fair whack at the club as well. So do you know what? It's not going to be easy to actually get him gone, but we are going to try and offload him. But I don't think it's going to be something we're going to be able to achieve in the first season. Part of that is going to be Hakim Ziyech, because this guy, he's obviously pretty much guaranteed a move in the transfer window, but it collapsed. He's not going to be in a happy sort of state of mind. And for me, he just doesn't get into this team. Do I think he's a good player? Yes. Do I think he's a good player at Chelsea? No. I feel like he needs to go to a team which is, is going to give him respect, give him a real shot, because at the end of the day, he does turn it on occasionally. But at Chelsea, he does not have a future. And to partner that, we've got Conor Gallagher. I love this guy, but I just feel, the amount of midfield players we have, he's not going to get a look in this team. And out of pure respect for Conor, 22 years of age, I need to let him go and develop his career. I need to let him go somewhere, need to let him get game time, because I do not want to let him waste his career sat on the bench, because that's not what he deserves. And this is going to be the first transfer window. So as you can see, there is going to be practically nothing happening for us. You can see all the signings that have been brought in, absolutely mental. None of these were actually, obviously, our signings. Or Graham Potter's probably, but that aside, anyway, jokes aside, we did offload Ruben Loftus-Cheek, again, another player which I didn't even mention, but he's not going to have a future at the club. Manchester City, 25.5 million, I'll see you later, and I feel like that's more than a fair enough price. We then go over to the tactics page. This is going to be the Red Dragon, created by, and we are going to shout them out, Fab and H-Dog. Very, very, very sound people, sound bunch of lads, and regulars of the live stream. As I always like to say, do come over to the live stream because it's the best vibes on Twitch, you know. Everyone's welcome to get involved, and the community is different to all the rest, trust me. But this tactic is actually a really good one. I had a load of fun playing with it. Obviously, we're used to seeing 4-2-3-1s, but this one, it just performed really, really well, and we're going to see it as we go on further down the video, but you can see the lineup here, and to start with, it's a really good lineup on paper. Obviously, in an ideal world, we would have a striker. Kai Havertz isn't really a striker, in my opinion, but for the first season, he is going to have to do. We're going to have Mendy, James, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Kovacic, Fernandes, Sterling, Mason Mount, João Felix, and Kai Havertz leading the line to finish it off, and quite a strong bench as well, as to be expected. Now, I'm super excited to get into the next season, and hopefully, we can sort all the first season and see exactly what we can do. I hope we can get that media prediction, but only time will tell. Well, time has told, if that's even a saying. And do you know what? It's not a good season in terms of winning stuff because we didn't win anything. But what we did do is get a very good league finish. We come inside the top 4, which, to be honest, might not even happen in real life. Quite a big shot at it not happening at all. So, do you know what? I'm actually quite happy. It's a good settling in season. I expected this, as I do in real life. I feel like Potter's getting a lot of stick, but when you get these amount of players through the door at the same time, you're never going to have a great first season because imagine trying to find the best 11 in Graham Potter's shoes. It's not going to be an easy job, and obviously it wasn't an easy job with us here. Quite an impressive amount of goals scored, not the best when it comes to goals conceded, but overall a third place finish I would take any day. And to go into the next season, funny enough, we've actually been given £128 million to spend. Now this is an absurd amount of money, and this amount is something we're going to be sensible with because I don't want to go and sign another 10 players. I'd rather invest in a few which possibly we might need to be signing because we are going to offload some players as well. So this is probably going to be the most difficult transfer windows we've ever done in any rebuild because it's very crucial we don't make the situation worse than what it already is. But before we do that, we'll have a little look at the squad stats because do you know what? It is important. We like to have a little look at this. So 29 goals from Havertz, Mount with 19 as well. Lukaku had quite a good season, actually, to be fair. So did Fofana, who obviously went out on loan. Raheem Sterling with 16. João Felix, not really good enough. He will not be joining the club. Aubameyang, not too bad. 8 for Fofana. Mudryk with 7. The assisters, it's pretty split apart from Raheem Sterling and also Mason Mount picking up majority of the assists. 9 also from Reece James, which is impressive. But what I'm noticing here is, you know, there's so many real good players that possibly aren't getting as many games as what they deserve, and that is why they're not contributing as much as what I'd want to see. And I don't blame the players necessarily because it can't be easy to get a look in this team. So that's why we're not really going to aim to sign many, if any, wingers, especially because if you look at the winger situation, players that can play on the wing include Mason Mount, Fofana, Sterling, Mudryk, Callum Hudson-Odoi. We have got Pulisic, Madueke. Who else have we got? They're sort of the main ones. They're the sort of the main ones, but I've just listed sort of like 5 to 6 there. Only 2 wingers can play at one time, so we need to make sure we give everybody a chance and really look to offload the underperforming players. So this is going to be the first transfer window, and do you know what? This one is going to be a big one. A lot of drama, a lot to talk about. And do you know what? If you're enjoying the video so far, by the way, please do leave a like on it and do subscribe to the channel as well. We've hit 6K, so again, much love for that. We're going to keep on pushing because trust me, we're here to take over and you guys are going to be a very, very crucial part in doing that. So it does mean a lot. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek, goes to Manchester City. We also offload Conor Gallagher to Monaco for 20 million, just so he actually can develop his career. You can see a few other players depart in there as well. But players also on this screen, any other big names? Sarr to Monaco, 13 million. Azpilicueta to Barcelona for 6 million. Thiago Silva to Barcelona for 3.4 million. Hakim Ziyech to Roma for 14.2 million. And also Chabala, who was not developing nicely at all, for 13 million. So do you know what? A load of players out the door, which is why we have brought some players in. And we turn to Atalanta, Scalvini, a well-known wonder kid in the game, £59 million. Lamptey is back up right back to Reece James, £38.5 million. And Casado from Brighton as well for £37.5 million, which was his release clause, an absolute steal. So in my opinion, some really good signings to bolster the squad. Scalvini is pretty much Chabalar's replacement and obviously a lot better of a defender in the game, especially tons of potential and a great signing. Lamptey, a backup right back, better than the options we did have, and he just offers obviously a little bit more pace going forward. Obviously nowhere near as good as Reece James, but still a good option to have on the bench and as rotation. In terms of Casido, a player that possibly might even look to get in this team permanently in the midfield. He's got the potential to do so, but for now a sporadic player, obviously, or a squad player should I say, a player that has got to do a lot to work his way into this team, but will be used now for a substitute, cup games, etc, etc. And this is going to be the team then going into the next season. And you know what? I'm excited. Lukaku is an interesting one because I know he didn't do the best at Chelsea since the comeback, but he's been out on loan. I'm going to give him 1 season to show me what he's got. If he scores over 30, it's an improvement. So we're going to see exactly what he can do. So it's going to be Lukaku, Mount, Havertz, Sterling, I'm going to say Kovacic then, Kovacic, Kante, James Fofana, Koulibaly, Cucurella, Mendy. Obviously, we now add Scalvini to the bench, Lamptey to the bench. We've also obviously got Casido on the bench. That bench is now looking it's looking strong. It's looking really strong. If we're being honest, it's looking incredible. And this tactic, hopefully, is going to now push it a little bit further and possibly push us up the league table a little bit. So let's get into the second season and see exactly what we've cooked up. Well, we've cooked up a storm, guys. I'm going to be real because we've won the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And the only trophy we didn't win is against PSG in the Champions League, which isn't great. But you know what? A treble winning season compared to the last season, that is what I like to call transfers with an impact. Even letting go of some of the players has helped us here because, you know, it gives people a lot more of an opportunity to really establish their side in the team. It's a lot less confusing to actually pick a team. And some of the players obviously were underperforming and towards the end of stages of their career. No offense to the players, but overall a very, very, very good season. 129 goals scored, only 36 conceded. Quite a comfortable Premier League title as well. And one thing I'm going to say right now, Romelu Lukaku, 104 goals from Big Rom. I have seen 3 players do this in rebuilds for me, and also in other videos. I've seen Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and Lewandowski pull them type of numbers. And Lukaku to be doing that at the age of 31 is incredible. So this player will be staying with us and he will be definitely impacting a lot in the next season as well. We also have Raheem Sterling coming in with 31 goals, 28 for Kai, Mount coming in with 13. Then there is a little bit of a drop off, but the main 4 we can see. And Lukaku, what a season. Assists we're going to have, we'll go down here actually, 13 from Enzo, we're going to have 16 for Casido, very impressive, 11 for Kante, 24 for Callum, 24 coming in for Mason Mount, 21 for Kai, 15 coming in for Sterling, and even 11 for Lukaku. But one player which is always nice to see, Mason Mount actually performing under my management, which is really good to see. And overall, I'm ecstatic with them type of results. And going into the next season, 101 million British pounds. So again, it's another ridiculous budget. The wage budget's through the roof as well. We've got another chance to spend, but obviously we are looking to offload as well. So it is going to be a very tricky situation. Again, every window I'm really thinking deep down, I'm taking a lot of time looking at the players we're signing because I don't want what we're building to then collapse because we've introduced too many players, etc, etc. So we're going to go and spend a lot of time going into this third transfer window, and I'll come back to you once we've done it. Well, the third transfer window is amongst us, and you know what? It is an absolute incredible one because you heard me at the start of the video, and I quote, I'm not planning to bring in several players, I'm planning to bring in a few sort of high-tier players. Along them lines is what I said, and that is what we've certainly done. Bringing in none other than Frankie de Jong from Barcelona. 134 million pounds has been spent on this player, but in my opinion, a sensational purchase. We also have some more players going. Kante to PSG for 26 million pounds is the main sort of player, actually. That's pretty much the only one we're going to talk about because we've seen the rest. But Kante, he was playing good, but he's only getting older. PSG put up a decent offer, and we've got de Jong coming in now. I'm just looking into the future, and having a midfield of him, Enzo, you know, Casido, it's absolutely incredible. And we don't need to really talk about this guy too much because we know who he is. The wage is an absolute meltdown, but obviously Kante did help with that. The guy's living the dream. He's 27. He's now, you know, he's not older, but do you know what? He's got a little bit more than what Kante. Basically, what he does is what I'm after. Everything about him just is a little bit more progressive. He's got a little bit more about him, a little bit more energy, and just such a really good player. I love Kante, but the poor guy's not been in the best of form recently. He doesn't even play too much. So, at the end of the day, I had to bring in de Jong, and we've finally done it. As you can see, I mean, he's literally a flawless player. I'm going to be real. And the team now looks incredible. I mean, Scalvini is actually getting into the starting 11 now. So we're going to have Mendy, Reece James, Fofana, Scalvini, Cucurella, De Jong, Kovacic, Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, Raheem Sterling, and Romelu Lukaku. And the best thing about this is the bench still is looking absolutely incredible. And I believe this was the season we actually managed. We actually managed to release Aubameyang. No one wanted him. I was sick of seeing him. I didn't want him around the club. I don't like him. So I released him. He's gone. I don't know where he's gone, but he's gone. He's out of the club. I'll see you later. But we're still looking to try and get a little bit more out of Mudryk. I really want this guy to explode under this management. And so far, it's not been that good. And I haven't, when I do obviously do the simulations, I don't tell the managers to purely use this 11. So I do hope he does actually start to use him. As you can see, by the way, we've got Bakayoko still on the reserve, so we are going to look to offload as well. But there's so much talent now in this squad, it's ridiculous. Madueke is another one. There's tons of players. And you know what? I'm getting more and more confident as we go on. So let's get into the third season and see exactly what we can do now. I mean, wow. When you talk about someone that is making flawless signings, I don't want to hype myself up too much, but I think I deserve a like, guys. I mean, the signings have been incredible. Every season we've signed a player and also offloaded some. It gets better and better. I don't know if we're going to keep doing that, though. I don't know if that's even possible to carry on at this rate. Champions League winners, Premier League winners, Carabao Cup winners, Community Shield winners, 98 goals scored, only 22 conceded. And again, it was a very, very close Premier League. I mean, ridiculously close. All that separates me and Manchester City is going to be a point. Now, in terms of the goals, Big Rom, obviously he was not going to score 100 again, but he still kept up an incredible goal scoring ratio. You're talking 67 goals scored, 31 coming from Kai Havertz, 24 for Raheem Sterling, Mason Mount coming in with 17, 14 coming in for Wesley Fofana, De Jong with 12, 9 coming in from Scalvini, also 9 coming in from Callum. In terms of the assisters, we've got 11 coming in here from none other than Cucurella, 17 for Casido, 9 coming in for Pulisic, 19 coming in from Callum Hudson-Odoi, 10 for Scalvini, very impressive, 37 for Mount. I'm so happy for Mount in this rebuild. He's really, really proved a lot of people wrong. 18 for Sterling, 14 for Havertz, and 11 for Big Rom. And you know what? It gets a little bit better because we've also now got 85 million. I know the budget was going to have to come down quite significantly because we have been given sort of 100 million here, 120 million here. We need to be humbled a little bit, but we've also got some players we want to offload. The likes of Christian Pulisic, for example, is a player that personally I would like to move on to then give the opportunity to the younger players that can become a lot better than Pulisic to actually get a run in the team, get a shot and show what they are all about. So we're going to get into the next transfer window and see exactly what we can sort of cook up, and hopefully we can just carry on strengthening and strengthening. Well, we've got 2 pages of transfers now, so do strap in because it's going to get interesting. We actually offload several players. Pulisic to Manchester City for £50 million. I was never going to say no. Matheson to Stuttgart for £2.2 million. We bring in Moukoko from Borussia Dortmund for £96 million. Costa from Porto for £32 million. Mokoko's just obviously there to, you know, because Lukaku's only getting older. As good as he's doing, and I'm really pleased with that, we do need a backup striker anyway, and also one that is going to eventually fill the shoes of Lukaku, and no other player is going to do that better than Moukoko. Second page, we offload several players. Kepa, Southampton, 27.5 million pounds. Gusto, Atletico Madrid, 17.5 million. Stonia, Porto, 21 million pounds. So a lot of money being generated as well. We then bring in Alex McAllister, who actually had a very interesting move. We rescued him there, 16.2 million. Antonio Silva, obviously a fantastic player. Benfica, 62 million pounds. And Yuri Tielemans to bolster that midfield again, 54 million pounds. And this is where we are really going to start cooking up, because Moukoko, already an incredible player, tons of potential, only 20 years of age, and he's happy to be a squad player, so he understands Lukaku is still going to be the dominant one for now, but he has got an opportunity to grow and become eventually the first team striker. We then have Costa as a backup keeper for now. Obviously, he might actually get into the team right away because Mendy is still a fantastic keeper, but is slowly getting worse and worse because of his age. But this guy is an absolute star. We then have McAllister coming in, and this guy has a lot to offer, I feel, for that price tag as well. Very well balanced, can play in several roles in midfield, higher up, lower down. He can do it all, McAllister, and for that price tag, it's exactly why I had to bring him in. And then we're going to have Antonio Silva, and I don't even need to talk about him. An incredible centre-back, great tackling, quick on the ball, quick generally in pace, good decisions. I don't need to keep going on. An absolutely incredible centre-half. And now the last man is going to be Youri Tielemans. And this is a player who, again, I probably wouldn't have picked up if he wasn't actually asking to leave Leicester right off the bat, but he was very keen on joining. We had the money to also do it. We offloaded some players, and I was like, do you know what? Let's just get him in, because very similar to McAllister, this is more of a depthy player when it comes to playing mid and a little bit deeper. He offers a lot, obviously, a very well-known midfielder in the Premier League already. Basically got perfect passing, 19 passing, a real good, ideally a deep line playmaker, but can do several roles, as I mentioned. As literally one of my favourite players to sign. And then this is going to be the team going into what is going to be the 4th season. And this team is now looking incredible. It's looking ridiculous. Costa, James, Fofana, Scalvini, Cucurella, De Jong, Caicedo cementing himself in that first team now. Raheem Sterling, Kai Havertz, Hudson-Odoi, Lukaku, and the bench just gets better and better. Mason Mount, Moukoko, Chilwell, Kovacic, McAllister, Koulibaly, who's actually out on loan at Manchester United, Tielemans, Fofana, Lamptey, Fernandes, Broja, Badiashile, Mudryk. Even on the reserves now, you got Madueke, you obviously got Bakayoko. We didn't even mention this guy. He's obviously a fantastic player as well. And you know what? It's really a sensational team now. So we've got to get into the next season and see exactly how we finish. Well, do you know I said that we couldn't keep doing this consistently, having good windows and carrying on winning? We've actually won everything available to us now. We have won 6 trophies in one season. The Champions League, done. The Super Cup, done. Premier League, done. FA Cup, done. Carabao Cup, done. Community Shield, done. 6 trophies, 1 season. The perfect season has been achieved, and that definitely deserves a like and a subscribe, especially from the Chelsea fans. If you're a Chelsea fan right now, please comment a blue love heart. We love to see it. Hopefully I've done you guys proud. 102 goals scored, only 27 conceded, and a very, very, very dominant season in this division. In terms of the squad then, let's go over by the goals, because it's got to be actually Moukoko taking the... I mean, that is a big surprise. I thought Lukaku was still going to take place, but it was sort of like the rank 1 position, but 40, 33, 26... 18, 15, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. Loads of goal contributions. The assisters, 27, 22, 20, 15, 11, 9, 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, and 5. Do you know what? It's an absolutely incredible, and I mean an incredible season from everyone. If you were going to carry on the rebuild, but now we're going to stop it there because, I mean, let's be honest, it's a flawless season. It would be nuts to carry on. We would have had 56 million, which actually is still quite a generous amount. But I mean, come on, what an absolute season that is. And do you know what? The team we put together now is absolutely incredible. It really is. I mean, what a team this is right now. I'm looking at it and I'm just shocked. You've got Costa, James, Fofana, Scalvini, Cucurella, Caicedo, De Jong, Hudson, Havertz, Sterling, Lukaku, Mendy, Antonio, Silva, Mount, Moukoko, Ben Chilwell, Kovacic, McAllister, Tielemans, Fofana, Lamptey, Fernandes, Broja, Badiashile, Mudryk. I mean, come on. Madueke, Bakayoko. There is so many names to mention, the real standout players. What a team we have built. And again, a big shout out for Fab and H-Dog for making this tactic. If you guys ever want to actually be featured in a video yourselves, you can join the Discord, and also do come over to the Twitch channel, because this is the perfect way to sort of say you want to share a tactic, and then I can download it from you and we can put it and test it in one of these videos. But honestly, what a time this has been. And we are also going to treat ourselves in today's rebuild, and we are going to watch one of the games, because I feel like this one is going to impress a lot of Chelsea fans. Well, if you're a Chelsea fan, you might want to do whatever you're doing, stop it. Stop it and watch, because this is a 12-1 win over Tottenham with their full strength team, which we are going to show you after the game, because the stats are absolutely brutal. As we kick things off there from a great set piece from Money Mount, and it's a great header as well. Reece James going down the right-hand side here. Note that this defence was shocking from Tottenham, as we're so used to seeing. Ball across into Kai Havertz, into the left-hand corner to make it 2-0. We were really cooking on gas already, but it's not enough. Mason Mount, ball across into Moukoko. It's a good initial save, actually, to be fair, as they do look to get rid of it, but De Jong with the press into Moukoko. Elegance. Sheer elegance from Moukoko. Big credit to De Jong there to obviously coming up with a fantastic little bit of pressing. We win the ball back here as well. It's going to be Antonio Silva into De Jong, into Kai Havertz, into Moukoko, into Hudson-Odoi. And you know what? If that's not beautiful play, then I don't know what is, because that is absolutely... It is beautiful stuff. Mason Mount again, ball in the box. Scalvini this time heads it into the bottom right corner. And you know what? It's an absolute thumping. We're still not stopped though. Kai Havertz picks it up in the midfield from De Jong. Just drives and drives back into Frankie De Jong. First time into Madueke, into Moukoko. And a sheer elegance. It's utter domination in this game. We're absolutely running away with it. But they do get a goal. We are going to... It's just, you know, some cricket noises will be perfect here. But they do get a goal. It's a good set piece. But then we think, do you know what? We're Chelsea. We need to punish them. They don't deserve the goal. We've absolutely been dominating the game. Let's carry on. I mean, that is a good ball in the box. Very lucky, though, I must say there. But it is going to be Moukoko getting quite, well, probably the easiest goal of his career, to be fair. Cucurella, who had a sensational sort of time in this rebuild. Hudson-Odoi picks it up. Beautiful ball over to Madueke. Great touch. Elegance. And that is why Madueke needs a shot in real life. He needs to be made sure he doesn't just get put to the bench and forgot about. McAllister, ball in the box. Is it going to be another header? It's not. Hudson-Odoi picks it up on the edge from Madueke. Touch. Pause. No, he's going. And he's hit it. Sensational. Poor from the keeper, though, I must say. But still, great display from Madueke alone. Forget the rest. I mean, they're doing it as well, but great performance from Madueke. Cucurella, McAllister, touch. Is he going to hit it? He's got to hit it again, and you're seeing how many chances do get created down this left-hand side of the field. It's absolutely beautiful. Scalvini driving at the defence. I mean, no one's pressuring him at all. Fofana, pace across McAllister. Keeper's given up. He wants to go home. I mean, it's an absolute thumping against this Tottenham team. It really is. Madueke picks the ball up again here. Cuts it back into Cucurella. What's he going to do here? Into Kovacic. Oh my God, off the turn, and he hits it. Keeper's in no man's land. I mean, Spurs are giving up at this point, and do you know what? I would. They had an absolute stinker, and do you know what? We're looking at some of the players, obviously, which they did have on, which they didn't have on. You've got, obviously, their first-team keeper, Savinov at this time, Lacroix, Romero and Didi, Casavona, is that Stack, Tanganga, Devine, Kazanovic, Kane, Richarlison. But you look at the players they brought off as well. You got Bamba, Udogi, Kulusevski, Pedro Porro, Neves. You know what? Their team's decent, but they definitely have not got their recruitment right, in my opinion. And they had nothing. I know we were at home. Possibly it's a big advantage, but what a display that was. And we are now going to break down the tactic. But before we do, I'm going to quickly say right now, a lot of you guys have been coming over to the Twitch, and it means the world to me. So please do come over and watch the Twitch stream as well if you enjoy the content here. We're a lot more sort of comedy-like on there. You know, we joke around, we have a laugh. We're definitely one of the best at engaging with the chat, getting you guys involved, having a laugh, looking at your tactics, looking at some funny goals, moments, etc, etc. Same goes for the Discord as well. Be sure to join that. All the links are in the description, and also the Twitch will be on the pinned comment. So do come over. You can see my schedule on the social medias, but usually, if you want a rough ballpoint time, 5:30 PM and onwards is where I'm going to be live. So it does mean a lot, and trust me, you will enjoy yourself. But let's break down the Red Dragon 3v3. Sorry. Now, I have done a few tweaks to this tactic, I'm going to be honest. So you are going to be downloading the tweaked version of this tactic. But it come from HDog and Fab, two very, very loyal and friends of mine. If you want to say viewers, I don't really class you guys as viewers. I class you as friends. But it come from viewers if you want to word it like that. But ideally, what I want to do with this is just display how good it is, because it really did do a great job, and you guys should definitely test it out. The link to this will be in the description. But again, if you're feeling generous, can we get a little love heart in the comment for Fab and HDog, who obviously put a lot of time into making this tactic. Now, Sweeper Keeper is going to be on support on Take More Risks. The wingback is going to be on support, cross from byline, shoot less often, run wide with the ball, get further forwards. The left back is going to be also a wing back on exactly the same instructions. So I'm going to read it out once. Just give you time, a little bit of time to copy it. Two ball playing defenders on exactly the same, both on defend. Shoot less often, take more risks and hold position. We then have a deep line playmaker on the left and midfield on support. shoot less often, take more risks, and also hold position. And then a box-to-box on the right, roam from position. Going forwards then, on the right-hand side, an inverted winger on attack, take more risks, shoot less often, dribble more, cut inside with the ball, and get further forwards. And on the left-hand side, we've got an inside forward on attack, tackle harder, dribble more, cut inside with the ball, take more risks, cross less often, and get further forwards. And then the shadow striker. This guy got a ton of goals, always was involved. On attack, dribble more, take more risks, get further forwards, and move into channels. And then the advanced forward on attack. Take more risks, dribble more, and move into channels. They're going to be the player roles. We've done that a little bit differently today. We've done the player roles first, and now we're going to do, obviously, the actual team instructions. A positive mentality, in possession, fairly wide, shorter, higher tempo, be more expressive, and low crosses. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the centre-backs and the full-backs, and throw it long. Out of possession, a standard defensive line, a high press line of engagement, much more often, and get stuck in. Now, if you are picking up too many bookings, you can take this off, but it just removes that, that dangerous, that sort of, intense side, which catches a lot of teams off guard. I personally really like it, and I'm happy, especially with this team where we had such depth. I don't mind getting the occasional suspension, but obviously for you guys, if you've got a small team, I would look to probably take that off, see how you do without it. But that would be the only tweak I'd make from what you're going to be downloading. And you know what? A great tactic, a load of fun doing this rebuild. Probably the funnest rebuild I've actually done in terms of already having quite a good team, just sort of molding the pieces together correctly. But do let me know what you thought, how well I done. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And I will see you tomorrow with another tactic.